George, the Healthy Cooking Show, showing you healthy can be delicious. And speaking of delicious, today I'll be preparing eggplant stuffed with feta cheese with a tomato oregano sauce. And so you let it cook about halfway, and then it's going to cook the rest of the way in the oven. And what I've done is I've preheated our oven to 350 degrees. And it's so nice to make new things on Eatright by George. We have never cooked with eggplant before. So this is something that I enjoy, doing something a little bit different. And many people have never even tried eggplant. Okay, so brought this to a boil. I'm going to add it to my casserole dish on the bottom here. Such an easy recipe to make. The hardest part is just getting all the ingredients, I think. The rest of it is really simple. So we're lining our casserole dish. I would say this is also a great comfort food. If you're looking for comfort food. Stuffed eggplant with tomato sauce, homemade, and fresh herbs. They're a perfect comfort food. Okay, so we got all our beautiful sauce here. Look how colorful. We have that in our casserole dish, nice and hot. Now I'm going to put this down for a second. And what I want to do next is show you how to stuff our eggplant, which is really easy. So you just take your eggplant, it's nice and tender, so it's easy to roll. You take a teaspoon of our mixture, just like this. You put it at the end of the eggplant fillet here, and roll it up. Roll it and make sure the end is on the bottom. So once again, I'll show you and do the rest of them. You take the thickest part of your eggplant, not the thin part, which is the skinny part here. You take the thickest part, which is the bottom. You put your mixture there, about a teaspoon, not too much because you don't want them to leak out and explode. Roll it and leave the bottom part, which is the opening here, the tail, in the bottom. Such a wonderful dish. And it's, if you see the eggplants on sale at the grocery store, don't be afraid to get one and try it. Just get your eggplant here. And eggplant has so many health benefits as well. You might be wondering, why am I using eggplant? What's the health benefits of eggplant? Well, eggplant actually contains a lot of nutrients that can protect your heart. It's an anti-cancer food. It is actually a superfood. And I've even been seeing research studies that show that it protects brain cells as well. Eggplant has antioxidants that also preserve and protect your brain cells. So that's an even greater reason to use it on top of it all. Now I like to take and finish the eggplant that's been stuffed with the feta cheese mixture with just a small slice of low fat mozzarella cheese. So I'm just using one little piece, not a big piece. So I just took a block of mozzarella cheese and made little slices like this, putting that on top. Really simple. Just like this. Put them on top, and I've already preheated my oven, so I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 20 minutes. As you can see, they're just so delicious. You don't have to cover them. You pop those in the oven. Now, once those are ready to cook and they're come out of the oven, I like to take a clean plate and then I line the bottom with some of the sauce, and then I top our finished dish with a little sprig of mint, which I have, of course, from my garden, so I like to save a little bit for garnish. So as you can see, this is a very colorful dish. It's healthy and delicious, and something you can make in just a few minutes, really. Once you have all the ingredients all together, it's really simple to make. I also want 34 seconds. Someone in the United States has a heart attack, and the majority of the people that do have a heart attack are women. Believe it or not, women have more heart attacks than men. So it's even more important that you are here learning about heart health, which is sometimes overlooked. Many times it's something that's very preventative. We can prevent heart disease through diet, exercise, prayer as well. I think that it's great that we pray, because that's very important for our heart. We need to take time to pray more. And as you know, in Greece and the Mediterranean, they actually take time and they take like a little siesta in the afternoon, and that's something we don't do here. And that gives everybody a chance to kind of recharge. It gives them a chance to let their heart rate go back down and give their heart a chance to relax. So it's really important, and something that we don't do here. Our lifestyle here in the United States has a factor in our heart disease. The Mediterranean diet, when you eat the Mediterranean way, you actually decrease your chances of getting a heart attack by 50%. You decrease your chances of getting cancer by 20%. And people in the Mediterranean, in many parts of the Mediterranean, absolutely have hardly any dementia. So believe it or not, people that follow the Mediterranean diet, they have absolutely almost no dementia. And one of the reasons is there's no artificial colors or flavors in the Mediterranean diet. You know, there's no artificial colors in the yogurt. There's no dyes. You know, they're eating how we're supposed to be eating, the healthiest way. With Dr. Pat Jerry.
Hi, George.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking me to do this.
Oh, wonderful. I just wanted to ask you a few questions about nutrition.
Okay.
So when you have patients come to you to ask you about nutrition and weight loss and other ailments, what's like some of the best tips and strategies you can give them?
Well, in a nutshell, to give you pretty much everything that I know in just a few minutes, the first thing that I start off with is people have got to drink good water. People do not drink enough water these days. They drink very little, or they drink Monster Energy, or they drink coffee, or Gatorade, or something else, and they think that's okay. But everybody needs to have like a minimum of 90 ounces of water a day, of course spread out over the day. But and I'm not saying just go out and drink tap water. You want to get good quality water. Bottled water is okay. It's a step up from tap water. And then you could go and get filtered water. You could get reverse osmosis water, which is a great brand. I personally like distilled water because that's the purest form, and then you can add minerals back to that, because your body is like 75% water. So if you're missing that, it doesn't matter how many good things that you take in, because your body's not going to be able to process it. So that's the foundation that I use is great water. Then stepping up from there, we go into supplements. I'm a big believer in supplements. A good multivitamin mineral supplement. There's something like 72 trace minerals your body needs every day. And a lot of people will go out and they'll buy the Centrums or the one-a-days, and that's okay. It's better than nothing. But for just a couple dollars more, they could go out and get a really good organic, whole food-based vitamin that's very bioavailable. The body will absorb 98% of it. It gives them a lot more than the traditional, like if you look at a Centrum or a one-a-day, it'll say, you know, vitamin A 100% of the RDA, or vitamin C 100 RDA. Those RDAs were actually made back in the 40s and the 50s when they started making vitamins, and it's what literally keeps a 12-pound rat healthy. It's got nothing to do with a human
being.
Right, exactly. It's the bare minimum. So again, it's better than taking nothing, but these vitamins that you're seeing nowadays, they've got like 5,000%,
Yeah.
10,000%, which is good because again, your body is so dynamic; it needs to heal and repair. And if it is a whole food based vitamin, whatever your body doesn't use, it's just going to excrete because it doesn't need it, and it will do no harm. So to me, it's just cheap insurance. So that's the vitamin end of it. But again, now going into the food part, the supplements are just that. They're supplements. They're not a replacement for good food. Eating fresh, good food is absolutely the best.
Absolutely.
As you know.
Oh, yes.
And I'm big into, getting adequate protein. Again, right up there with water. Very, very little is done with protein for people. By and large, most diets are just consumed by carbohydrates. That's where most people fall down is they say, oh my gosh, how can I lose this weight, or how can I get healthier, or how can I, this or that. Well, it's the carbohydrates that we all take in on a very easy basis, and we don't even realize how many things the carbohydrates are in. So I always kind of counsel people to graze through the day, eat several small meals through the day instead of like one or two giant meals, right? Because then it just blows those fat cells up with the carbohydrates, and people get really strung out about the fat or the cholesterol or the calories. That really doesn't make any difference. It's honestly the carbohydrates. People can eat, within reason, things with fat content or cholesterol content without having a fit about it. But it's those carbohydrates that will get you in the end. So it's really about educating people about what foods have good slow burning carbohydrates that aren't simple refined things like you got the power bars and the energy bars, and those are okay from time to time, but again, it's a processed food. You want to have something that's grown up out of the earth that your body knows what to do with and to process and to burn at a normal speed. So as far as
home cooked meals,
right, it's true, and as much of that as you can get into your diet, it's not always possible in this day and age with the convenience of all the fast foods and so forth, but that is the best way to moderate your diet. And I use something I call the palm rule. Like when I say to graze through the day, whatever I can fit into my palm, I'll eat in that hour, like a palm of almonds or a palm of coconut or a palm worth of whatever. And you do that through the day, and it's going to satiate your appetite. If it's something good, not like a palm full of Twinkies or a palm full of jelly beans. I mean, it's got to be something good. It'll satiate the appetite, but also what it's going to do is it's going to dial up your internal thermostat, saying, okay, I've got something in me, I need to burn this off. So your body is constantly burning. It's telling your body that we need to keep burning this stuff, so that you're actually losing calories in that regard too. And then you start adding exercise onto it.
Definitely.
And that's another, that you got to exercise more than you're consuming, because otherwise you could start to accumulate some of those carbohydrates. So in a nutshell, I mean, I would say that's my basis for preaching to people as far as what to eat without getting into all the chemicals and the synthetics and the formulas for it. That's just kind of the general overview that I give people.
So basically, good water,
supplements, and then as diverse and healthy a diet of fresh food as you can get on a regular basis. And again, it's nothing crazy. It's very common sense. People know this stuff already. It's just they don't all do it. So,
that's right. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce our chef today. This is Chef George, and a bit of background information on Chef George. He has his doctorates in holistic nutrition from Clayton College of Natural Sciences. He has his bachelor's degree from Madonna University in dietetics. He's also been featured on Fox 2 News Cooking School, and he currently has a show running on Bright House every Tuesday. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chef George, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Thank you, Mallory. It's great to be here. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm George Rapidas, chef and nutritionist. And we're going to be talking about the Mediterranean diet. How many of you are familiar with the Mediterranean diet? It's a very popular diet. There's a lot of interesting information about it. It's very helpful for people that are watching their cholesterol, for weight loss, a variety of things, as you can see in the PowerPoint. It's something that it's close with me because I have a ethnic background. I'm Greek, and I've been to Greece and the Mediterranean many times. And the people there, compared to the people here, their lifestyle is quite different, and they don't have a lot of the disease that we have here. As you know, 1/3 of the population is obese, and heart disease is one of the major killers in the United States. And they don't seem to have those type of things in the Mediterranean. And one of the things they attribute that to is the fact that the people there eat according to the Mediterranean food pyramid. How many of you are familiar with the Mediterranean food pyramid? It's quite different than the one we have here. We actually have a plate now where we divide it into halves. One half is fruits and vegetables, 1/4 protein, 1/4 carbohydrates. But the Mediterranean food pyramid, they rarely changed it. We've changed ours several times, but if you look at the Mediterranean, they followed this pyramid for years, and the reason is that they are healthier, and they don't see the need to change it, as we do here so many times. We've had like the USDA food pyramid, we've had my pyramid, now it's my plate, so maybe need to follow a little bit what they're doing there, actually. This is a very short PowerPoint, and then we're going to get into the cooking demonstration for spinach pie. But there's actually a history behind the food pyramid, the Mediterranean one. It's based on dietary traditions of Crete, most of Greece and southern Italy in the 1960s. And in Crete, I don't know if you're familiar, but the people there are some of the healthiest people on the planet, actually. Many of them live to be in their hundreds in Crete. And also in the island of Icaria, where they also follow the Mediterranean lifestyle, many of the people live to be in their hundreds there as well. The rates of chronic disease among the lowest in the world, and highest adult life expectancy in this time pyramid. And variations of this diet existed in other parts of Italy, also in Spain, Portugal, France, parts of North America, North of Africa, parts of Turkey, parts of the Balkan region. And in these countries, with the Mediterranean diet, heart disease is generally lower. And you might notice there are quite a few differences between the USDA food pyramid and the Mediterranean diet pyramid. On the Mediterranean diet, there's an increased amount of fruits and vegetables. As you can see here, there's a big space here for fruits and vegetables. There's a key difference in oil, specifically olive oil. So people in the Mediterranean, they put olive oil almost on everything, it seems like. I mean, they drizzle it, even on their bread. They put a little bit on dry bread. They bake with it. Many people maybe are not familiar with that, but you can actually bake with olive oil. There's very little red meat. For them, red meat is a delicacy. They maybe have red meat probably just a few times a month. Whereas here, we're probably having red meat almost every day, many people. Olives and tomatoes are the most common fruits. So I brought some olives and tomatoes. Legumes and nuts are eaten as snacks, so they're always munching on almonds and walnuts. That's their snacks. And fish and poultry are more common than red meat. So if they do have meat, it's usually fish, because it's the Mediterranean. The Aegean Sea has fresh fish all the time. My aunt, who lives in Greece, she actually has a man that comes by every day, and he has like a little cart. He's got fresh fish, and asks her, "You want some octopus? Do you want some calamari?" We have fresh fish almost every day for them to eat. So keys to remember for us, if we want to stay healthier: eat fresh and try to eat local. Says you always hear that.